So a review and overview of my Sterling Illusion. So I want to say that this is going to be more of an overview rather than a review, and the reason for that is even though I've had it for many months, I think it'll take a long time for me to really unlock all the things that this kayak can do. And as my skills improve and as I grow into the kayak, I think then I'll be able to tell a little bit more and really review it. So I'm going to talk about things that I discovered in this kayak, features, things I really liked, and what it's done for my paddling so far. And yes, I do have crickets with me in the basement. So I came across Sterlings probably in a similar way as many other paddlers out there. First by seeing videos of paddlers doing some really crazy stuff either in rough water or in waves out on the West Coast. And one of my buddies, Chris, he went out to Lumpy Waters one year, got to test the progression for the weekend, came back and knew that that was going to be his next boat after playing in surf and playing in rough water. That was the first one that I ever tested, and I thought that was a little too much rocker for me, but it was just so much fun in the surf. Now, later that year, I got to spend an entire weekend paddling an ice cap at Styx out on the West Coast as well, and I absolutely loved that model. It paddled well, turned beautifully, it rolled really well. It was just a little too low volume for my taste, although I really liked many aspects of it. So I started wondering what their touring model would be like, and that's their Illusion. So then last year I had the chance to go out to Lumpy Waters. I spent the weekend in an Illusion. I got to talk to Sterling because he was one of the sponsors for the event. The entire weekend I got to nerd out with him. After every time I paddled it, I got to ask questions, how things are built, why things are a certain way in their build. And what I really liked was that it mixed a touring kayak with a lot of rocker and making it extremely playful. And that's kind of where I wanted to go. Now first I'll say, I don't think every boat is for everyone. I think no one boat does everything perfectly. But you need to mix and match and choose the things that you want out of your boat depending on the type of paddling you do. More and more I find myself going after rough water, waves, rock gardening, things where having a more playful boat would be to my advantage. Now when I tried the Illusion out west, the one thing I found was what I usually find for my weight and my height, it had a little too much volume. Usually in mid-volume kayaks, I just don't have enough weight to be in that sweet spot. So once we decided to do this build together, what we went for was a drop deck Illusion. So it takes their Illusion model and drops that deck a full inch all the way around, making it snug, and it fit me just right because it came in between the volume of the regular size Illusion and their ice cap, which is their lowest volume kayak. So the build over the last 9 months, I've been abusing this boat. It's taking every hit just fine. It came in at 47 pounds, which made it fantastic for carrying it on my shoulder or easily putting it on a vehicle. This particular seat was also custom made where the foam goes all the way to the back, making it really easy to lay back and not have any of the combing come in contact with my back. Now, the way they make it, you can sand back to exactly where you want it. I took sandpaper to it and I was able to carve it back so that I made it as comfortable as I wanted for my back. It has the normal 3 hatches, it has a skeg, which is actually kind of funny. It is closer to the middle of the boat because of the amount of rocker the boat has. The skeg is actually under the day hatch, so if anything happens to that skeg box, it's very easy to access as well. But in the months I've had it, I don't think I've ever used the skeg. Even in windy conditions, I really haven't had a need to use the skeg. Now let's talk about the main reasons I really wanted to go for this particular kayak. Let's say I'm sideways to a wave and I see it coming, I'm able to put it easily on edge very quickly, and as soon as the wave picks me up, finish that turn and drop right in. I hadn't been able to do that as easily with anything else I had tried. It really loves catching waves. It gave me a lot more confidence. That stern would not get stuck anywhere as often, and it was very forgiving. The same way I'd say a Greenland paddle is forgiving during a roll, I feel this stern allows you to have that flexibility that if you make a mistake or at any point you want to make a different decision, it allows you to do that. One thing to note for rolling, because it has so much rocker, when you're upside down, it'll usually choose one side or the other to rest on. You'll be a little bit further out of the water to start your roll. However, if the wind's in the right place or you have too much buoyancy, you might end up on the wrong side. So you'll just have to do a little bit of sculling or pull yourself over to the other side. It's one thing to be aware of because sometimes you might be set up on the wrong side and that means you'll be further down. However, once you corrected that, it'll be a lot easier to roll back up. Tracking, it tracks well. It's very easy for the amount of rocker this boat has. It's still very easy to keep it going straight while you're paddling. However, when you stop paddling, it'll usually eventually pick a side and start going off course, but it's very easy to keep it on course when you're paddling. For turning, the illusion is a dream. You can turn it almost without edge, and if you put edge, you can turn it very aggressively. It's really easy to keep it on edge and really get it going. You don't need a lot of effort to turn it. The only thing I haven't been able to test yet is capacity. I know that this is a low volume kayak. My last kayak was also low volume and I was able to camp out of it for a week. I usually camp with ultralight equipment, so I usually am able to pack everything I need for at least a week in a low volume kayak. So I'm sure I'll be able to do the same thing with the Illusion. I just haven't done it yet, so I can't tell you with certainty that I'm able to fit all of my gear. I'll be sure to report back. I don't know what else to say other than I absolutely love this Sterling Illusion. It fits me like a glove, and I really appreciate how it's allowing me to learn and to grow in my paddling, and it gives me confidence to continue pushing my limits. If there's any questions you'd like me to answer about this particular model, I'd be happy to. Like I said, I tried most of Sterling's models. This was the one that appealed the most to me and my type of paddling. I also can understand that this particular model that I have might not appeal to other paddlers, but for me and what I'm looking for, it's been absolutely fantastic. I really would like to thank Sterling and the whole team for giving me the opportunity not only to spend so much time in their demo boats and to ask them just tons of questions, asking about stuff during the build, work with them the entire time. They were absolutely fantastic and they were so helpful every step of the way. I just can't wait to see where it's going to take me in the next couple of years. So please do leave any questions or comments below. I hope that was helpful. Please subscribe if you like. I'm always trying to put these videos out. And as always, Luke Kayak Hipster. Thank you for watching and see you next time.